Good morning, everybody. This is Stacy Turner with our DMOpro Zoom. We're so thankful. A great weekend, and we're just really looking forward to this new month of May 1st. Do they call it May Day, or did I just come up with that? I think they do. Someone. Who is they? I'm not sure, but we're glad to have you joining us. And new month, fresh start, having just come 1 week from conference for us in the Juice Plus company. Just so much going through our heads. I feel like last week was trying to kind of sort of catch up in life and like get some last minute things done. But then May 1st, we all like May 1st and a Monday. Like, could it be any more perfect? New beginning to write down new goals. Everyone wants to wait till Monday and wait till the beginning of the month. So let's go. All right. So I wanted to chat with you. I gave you guys a paper. I don't know if you got it. If you didn't see it, look in the Voxer chat. And I also texted it to you to print it out if you get a chance, because we want to talk about the reason behind what we do. And when you ask new people, or when I ask new people, why do you want to share Juice Plus? And even I would say seasoned team members, the answer is often the same. Well, I want to help people. So we're going to say, of course you're doing this business, whatever business you have, products you're selling, because you do believe, very strongly that it's helpful, whether it's somebody that sells makeup or cosmetics in general, kitchen gadgets, whatever it is, there's a passion there to got you to the point where you would, say, okay, I'm going to join and partner with this company. And for those of us in nutrition, we really see the impact on an even deeper level with people, not just, oh, it was fun to get this new thing, but really seeing the impact to their health. And I think that's what keeps us going. And that's our initial motivation or starter is, we had something that made such a difference in our life, and we wanted to share that with other people. If that's not our motivation, I think, check your heart. I don't think any of us would be here if that wasn't. But we need to go deeper than that, because if it is just, I want to help people, what happens when your frustration comes along if somebody says no? And you feel like, well, they need this. Like, I want to help them, but they don't want the help, right? Not right now. Then if you get into that mindset, well, I'm not helping them. What happens if a customer cancels? Isn't that so sad? And you're like, no, don't cancel. Like, you need this and I want to help you. And so it can feel like I'm not helping anyone because they canceled. Or they're not saying no or saying yes right now. And like, what's the point? And you can just get into this crazy spin cycle. And the other night I woke up, it was probably 2 or 3 in the morning, not the best time for like making plans or, deciding life principles or like what you're going to do in the next, in the future, or really even thinking through like, what are my core beliefs? Things make sense to you in your head at 2 in the morning, and you wake up and you're like, what was I thinking? And it was sort of that thought process. I had a prospect with one of our newer team members, and we called her because we both just knew like she was ready. She had come to the health event. She was excited. We talked to her about joining the team. She had reached out to me, and I had connected her with a new team member because they were also friends. Like, we really thought, okay, she's ready to order. And I thought this will be great training. And I'll show this gal how you can, follow up and get the order, and we'll get it on the phone. Did not go anywhere where we thought it would. I think the husband walked in about the time we were talking to her, and she just said, no, we decided we just can't do this financially. We can't right now. They had just taken both of their girls to the doctor for strep throat. So I know they just paid co-pays. They just paid, I was like, what? And she had been the one to reach out to me. So I really think there was negativity from the husband, that he was at the presentation and then he left. He left the presentation in the name of, I got a call for work, and we found out like that wasn't even a thing. It was just odd. I've never had that happen ever in 20 years. And I don't know what it was. He was the only guy there at the dinner, but that's happened before. So it just was like, threw me off. And then I was so wanting to help that new team member. And you just can start doubting, like little things start creeping up in your head. And so I thought, in 2:30 in the morning when I woke up, I'm thinking this through, like I said, that's such a great time to contemplate life. And so, I think by the time, I started thinking, it was like, I didn't invite well. I didn't speak well. I didn't have good enough food. I didn't share the vision close enough with her that day. I didn't arm her with information. Her husband hates us. Everyone thinks we're a scam. Like it just went downhill fast. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't sleep like this either. But, just coming up with these plans of like, how am I going to fix this? And I knew, wait a minute. Like, what is that? Like, stop. And I stopped my thought process and I just started listing things I was grateful for and things I knew to be true, things I knew to be true about that night. We did get orders. The information was powerful. I didn't know that there wouldn't be other guys there. Like that's not my issue. That really had nothing to do with us or the event. It was on him. They do need this. They'll come around. This does make sense. I just started repeating truth about all of those things and I was able to fall back asleep. And then I woke up the next morning and all is good. And I'm not quitting and I'm not firing myself and everyone's okay. So, just watching, in the name of those times when that can happen, fall back into gratitude, just start listing what you're thankful for, list the truth of what and then, just calm your mind in that way. And one of these, this sheet can really ground us, I feel like, because in those moments when you think, I'm not helping them. Like I didn't help. I wanted to help. What I shared wasn't helpful or whatever, but it's got to go deeper than, hey, I want to help people. And that, when I say that, I mean, when I say it needs to go deeper, I'm talking like sort of your internal motivation to do the activity, right? Like to do this business. It has to be more than just, I want to help people. Of course, it has to be that, but you're going to need something that's stronger than that to really get you to do the activity, right? Because you can think positive, happy thoughts about people and that's helping. You can pray for them. That's helping. When we're talking about like sharing videos, having conversations, going to a deeper place, following up with them, inviting them to another event, like the motivation for you to do that activity has got to be a bit deeper. And we call that your why. And some people say you have to have a why that makes you cry. I'm just going to be honest. I don't think I ever have had a why that made me cry. It changed with seasons in life and, things I was going through at different times, some more deeper and like farther reaching ahead, like I've shared in the past. And sometimes it was the immediate of, I needed cash to be able to put my kids in private school. That was my motivation. I didn't want them in the public school system we were at. And I homeschooled 1 year. And at the end, I was like, who can I pay to do this? Like we survived, but like we were not thriving on that. And, my sister homeschooled her kids and they loved it. So it depends on the person, but I needed another option. We found this amazing little school for them, but then that was paying for 3 kids in private school. So that was my strong motivation at that time. That's what got me to pick up the phone. That's what got me to put another event on the calendar and to invite to it. So that's part of your why. And then, I think this sheet gives vision of the possibilities deeper than what we might think, especially if you're new. But then if you're seasoned, you've been with this company for a long time, sometimes you can kind of forget, like, is it just the next promotion? Is it, what is it that's really leading and guiding you forward? So I just want to encourage you to take that sheet out. And what I did with it is I didn't just star the ones I connected with, because that would be the whole page, right? Like you're like, yes, this is why I love my business. Yes, this is why I want to do this. Yes. Like you could just say, okay, yeah, I agree with all of these things. What I did was I underlined in the sentences that stood out to me, what parts of the sentences stood out to me. And, coming from conference, coming back from that, I think I had a deeper perspective or thought process about it than I would have even a week before. So I just want to encourage you, look through it, read through those sentences, and just underline some of the things that you're like, okay, I connect well with this right now, because that is what's going to propel you to do the activity. And in our app, in the membership section, there's a whole program that I did. It's called Finding Me in 2023. And it's based off of Earl Nightingale and a video or an audio that he recorded. I don't even know how long ago, guys, but it talks all about mindset. It's talking about activity. It's talking about much deeper things. And through the coursework in there, I have you listen to it, just listen, and then print out some pages and go back and listen again and fill in the blanks. And then there's some question pages for you to just dig a little bit deeper. And that's what I was talking about in that coursework of finding me, of like finding what is our internal motivation that's going to get us to do the activity. And one of the quotes that he had in this book, in the audio that I wrote down, I transcribed a lot of the audio for us so that we would have like papers of his quotes, a page of just what he thought of, because it's one thing to hear it. It's another thing to see it, to read it, and to have it to, read again. So those of you that have subscribed to that, that's in that membership section. But it says, he said, for 30 days, do your very best. Go at it with a calm, cheerful assurance that time well spent will give you the abundance in return that you want. Devote 30 days of giving of yourself without any thought of return. No matter what your job is, do it as if you've never done it before. Keep your goal in front of you and you will marvel at what you have found. And I just read that again this morning and I thought, all right, we're in a new month. We've got a new 30 days ahead of us. Let's do this. Really, let's do this. What if we gave it our all for 30 days? Like, did our very best. I'm not saying wear yourself out and, never do dishes and laundry and, ignore your children. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like the time that we're really have to do this business, like, let's do it well, setting time aside. There's some new power hours that are out and they'll walk you through it Monday through Thursday, walk you through that hour of what to do, what activity to do. That's just 1 hour. If we really have goals, if we really want, income for our family, what's driving you? If you want to reach that, we've got to put the activity into it. We've got to put the time. And that's what our DMO planner really helps us accomplish. I think I should have named it a DMO tracker more than a DMO planner, because to me, it's tracking the conversations that I'm having. Some people do plan out their week ahead of time and they write through, and I will say you're going to be more productive that way, because every time you sit down, you're going to know exactly who to talk with. But even if you're just using it as a tracker, and I've heard some people, telling me, it's not really working for me, or I got behind and I have extra pages. Excellent. So did I. If you expect yourself to use it every single week exactly, and you have the whole thing filled out, why are you expecting perfection? I don't. There's weeks that I had nothing written down. I got distracted. I was busy with other things and I didn't write anything down. I was still doing the activity, but I didn't take the time to write the things down. I lost momentum of that in those conversations because I know I dropped the ball in those. So it's not about perfection. Can you be 70% in? Even 70% is going to be effective. There is no such thing as perfection. And so for those of you that are an all or nothing person, if you think if every page, if every blank, if every week isn't filled out, then this isn't working, I think you're missing out on encouraging yourself. I have almost 6 months now of activity that I can go back in and I can see, like, I wrote things down. I did activity. I've been in the game. I'm doing what we're supposed to do, that we know in talking to new people and following up with people. There is no such thing as perfection. Maybe some of you guys have every page written out and filled out. Every week was done and all of the blanks were filled. Like, awesome. Congratulations. That's fantastic. I'm letting you know I didn't. I just ripped out the month of May. So because I didn't want to just get rid of all these pages at the back that hadn't been used. And there's probably a good 6 weeks of of pages here where it should have ended in April. April should have been the last of my month. I'm not going to waste a book. That's not the point, is to have it have had been perfect. It's to write things down and to have a place that we're tracking the activity that we're doing. So what is that activity? I think we really complicate this more than it has to be. We want to keep it simple. It's on the page. It's, directs you on what to do. It's simple, like just talk to people. If you have two things, talk to people and do events. Events are going to give you a reason to talk to people. So do events, set an event. What do you have going on in May? May is usually a busy month for a lot of people. It's the end of the school year. I have a senior this year. It's crazy. Just what her schedule, I was like, okay, send me all the senior things, all the times. Where do I need to be? What do I need to be a part of? What do you have that, as a parent, I don't have to have? And so we looked through the schedule and I found 3 dates that I can do an event and invite well to those 3 events. I mean, if I can find the time as a senior parent in this month, we can all find the time. It's, do you want to do this? Do you really want this? And I just want to encourage you, go back to that page, the 30 reasons you love your business, those listings, what you highlighted, what you thought stood out to you, because that's going to give you the encouragement. Okay, put those dates on there. It's easier not to do it. In some ways, right? It's easier not to do the activity, but then you're disheartened knowing I didn't do the activity. Like I missed out on some opportunities. I just had somebody send me a message last night and she said, we're talking, the last Facebook message I sent to her was 2016. We were friends in Alabama. And she said her sister was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's at 53 years old. And she said, I've got to get my health back in order. I really want to eat clean. And I thought, who can I go to? Who can help me? And she said, immediately you came to mind. And I'm just reaching out. What can we talk about Juice Plus again? Can you give me prices? Can you give me information? I sent her some great audios on Alzheimer's and nutrition and brain health and our new cognitive studies. And, we have something that people need. I wasn't just like, oh my gosh, that's so sad, Sharon. I'm so sorry to hear that. I was like, yes, here, I have something to help you. Let me walk through this with you. She came back to me because I've been consistent. I don't know if she has seen my Facebook post, We Are Friends, or if she just knew and remembered me from, that time ago. If you stay in this game, and I call it a game, if you stay in this business, if you stay in activity, they're going to come back to you because this is needed. The message you have is relevant. The product you sell is useful. It's effective, and they will come back to you as a resource for help. Timing is everything for everyone, but we need to be still in activity enough that somebody knows, hey, I can go back to her. I can reach back to her. She'll be able to help me. And we are able to help people. Don't forget that. Really, guys, what we're doing is impactful. Conference, we get to see that. You hear everyone's stories. You're in line buying brochures and you hear the next person's story. And at award dinners, you hear people's experiences. Like, don't forget that. Don't forget that excitement and that confidence that was built there. It can wane when we come back and we're on our own. And that's why I'm thankful that we have these events, or this call that we can do in the morning together, that we can just be reminded, okay, this is useful. This is helpful. So here are a couple of things that I wrote down. I'm hoping I gave you guys some time to just kind of write down some things or to highlight or underline some of those. And I want to hear from you what stood out to you. So I'll give you just a couple of mine and then I'm going to open it up for you guys. But I said to help others realize their dreams and for their family's future, for the financial side of things. Just as passionate I am about the product, I am about the business, or I need to be if I want to build it bigger, if I want to help more people. Customers add to our business, team members multiply our business. They multiply our time, they multiply our impact, they multiply our income. Like, Customers add, team members multiply. I've got to be just as passionate about helping people build stable income for their families. And I know it's true. It has been for me. It can be for other people as well. And then that my children can continue to do this business when I'm done or I'm gone. And I loved having my daughter and my niece. It was so validating. Like for 20 years, I've kind of been like the outlier in the family of like, oh, there's Stacy. She's kind of on the crazy side of nutrition. Like I don't even say anything to anyone. They're like, don't let Stacy see you eating that. And I'm like, I never even say anything to you guys. You're laughing because you know it's you have the same thing in your families. Like my sister didn't take it. Jarrett's brother didn't take it. His dad doesn't take it, desperately needs it. My parents have been faithful. I have tons of cousins that have never even, like, not even interested, even 20 years later, like way less family than strangers that I can get on Juice Plus. So you kind of feel like for 20 years, I have felt, sort of on the outside of that. To have my daughter and my niece come into conference and be as excited now about the product and the business as I have always been, it was very validating. Like, I'm not crazy. It is a good thing. Like somebody else came to conference and saw what I saw, have seen, and have been trying to share all these years. It was just really an encouraging side of things. I love contributing. That again, I'm not just saying, hey, I'm sorry that that's happening to you, but I actually have something to contribute to them. And then even contributing to our family's finances, that it wasn't all on my husband's shoulders. And there were times where, the only income we were bringing in was my Juice Plus income when he was, between business and different jobs. So I love that fact that I can contribute well. And if something happens to my husband, I'm okay. And I knew that for a long time. I wouldn't have to go back to a job. I could still stay home with my kids because of that stable income. So I just love the learning, growing constantly, developing myself as a leader. I don't want to be the same person I am next year that I am today. And there's nothing else out there that grows people like this. And I saw that with my niece and my daughter. And I'll give you this last story and then open it up to you guys. One more way that we really are making an impact, and especially on younger generations, think about the family members, it may be nieces and nephews that are entering into college. They really both connected with the visuals of the income and impact statement. If you remember that from conference, the new Instagram carousels and stories that are coming out, they really connected with those very well. And they loved the impact and the income side of things. They're, limited on how many hours they can work a job when they're going to school. And they just really both connected with that well. They came in from I had sent them downstairs in the hotel to get something from the store. They went down there, I don't even remember. And they came back, and Ansley said, the lady at the front running the store, she was really nice. We had a great conversation with her, and they were talking about it. And they said, we should have talked to her about Juice Plus. Like we didn't even talk to her. We didn't tell her. And Ansley said, I think she'd be great with the business because she was so easy to talk to. So on their own, they discussed it, got dressed again, and went back downstairs to have a conversation with the lady at the front desk. I didn't tell them to do that. And they did it on their own. They came back and I was like, how did it go? What'd she say? And they said, well, somebody had already talked to her, but they just said they would email her. So I gave her my number so that if they don't email her, she could reach out to me instead. And I didn't even care like what the outcome was. There were two things that stood out to me. They had a conversation with an adult, not texting. They had a conversation. They thought more of her than they did of themselves. And they talked themselves back into going down and talking to her, caring about her more than their comfort of the oddity of maybe of what that conversation would have been like. I was super proud of them. They had a conversation with an adult. Like that's a skill set that so desperately needs to be had in our day and age. We have moved so far from it. Do you guys remember the movie WALL-E? Go back and watch that. It's from Pixar, I think. And Wally is this robot that comes back from the future, back to Earth. You know, people had destroyed the Earth with their trash or whatever. And then they live in spaceships, people do. And at the end, they're showing the people in the spaceship, and they're so fat, they're so overweight. They just are on these little hover wheelchairs that take them wherever. They're talking to people that are right next to them, to their friends on these screens. They just order a drink and it shows up to them. They don't have to do anything. They fall off the little wheelchair, and Wally, the robot, comes back and puts them back into their chair, and they don't have to do anything. That was years ago, and it seemed like, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. I don't think it's that far off. I don't think we're that far away from that. And we've lost the ability to have conversations with people. And the younger generations, they really have. And yet those that can have conversations with people, they're the ones that are going to stand out in a job, in an employer. Like if you can have an employee that shows up and is able to converse and talk with people, that's going to be a huge skill set. You know, this is a business where we teach those things. We teach service over self. And I get teary-eyed thinking about that. We really do. If we're not in service to other people, it doesn't help ourselves. We've got to be in service over self. And we're teaching that to other people. You guys have something really special to bring in to that next generation. Be thinking about that. The young moms in your life, the college students, those younger people that are looking for something that's going to make an impact and do something more than just exchanging hours, for dollars. We want more than that. And they can get more than that with this. And I think that's what both of these younger girls saw, that there's possibilities for them too. And there's possibilities for you, but we've got to do the activity. We've got to put in the time. We've got to talk to people. This is a face-to-face business. Whether we're just texting, get off that text thread, get off the Facebook message thread, call them. You can get so much more done and accomplished in a conversation. Ask to meet for coffee. You can move things forward in a lunch date, face-to-face. Your heart is going to be heard more. Connect with people. This business teaches us to do that. The personal development that we have available to us, the mentorship, the guidance, it takes us to that place of face-to-face with people. And it's a very valuable skill set to have and to continue to develop, and that our world needs. So tell me, you guys, what stood out to you on that page? What did you underline? Why does that mean something to you to give it space in your mind and on that paper? What do you guys write down? And remember, you're muted.
Stacy, I'll go. I love the fact that I can set my own hours and work from wherever I want. We're moving my mother-in-law from one care unit to another next week. And I love that I can just work along the way when I have reception and continue talking to people.
Mm-hmm. The flexibility. Yeah.
Stacy.
Hey, Linda.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. Right now it's just like so in my face with every turn. My husband's retiring. And so, which we're so excited. We want to travel. So flexibility of the business is huge. I couldn't do it. I could not do it if I wasn't helping people. That's kind of like what you said. But right now, the big thing, and it does change, right? So it's changed. When I first started, I just wanted to pay for my product. I wasn't interested in the business. And then I had fun with it. And I love growing. I love the self-growth that happens with this business. But right now, so in this season of life, I really want to help my husband take some of that financial pressure off. He's been such a good provider for us. We're getting ready to have our 42nd anniversary. And so he's been phenomenal, but I really want to help with that. So that's the big thing right now. And it does change. Doesn't mean the other things go away, but that's the thing for me right now.
Right. And Linda, how much, flexibility you do have to be able to watch the grandbabies when your daughter needs some help. I love that. That's something I always wanted in the future for myself too. And I love seeing that with you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going
Anyone
to
else?
tag on with Linda. That's pretty much my why too. It's kind of changed over the time. I kind of didn't really know, but for me, I can see my husband. As I said earlier, he's a fisherman and he works really hard. He worked really hard for our family so that I didn't have to work and I could homeschool, but I feel like it's time, just time to help take that pressure off him. And he would not say that, but I can see it that he's tired of it. It hurts his back, it hurts his body. So I'm with you, Linda. That's my biggest why, I think. And I do want to I keep watching my pregnant cousins' children and things like that. And I'm like, you guys need this, it's so important. And I understand, Stacy, when you say your family doesn't listen. I have a huge family on my mom's side. And no one's on board yet. My aunt has cancer. She keeps saying, I'll talk to my doctor. I'm like, so does your doctor say you can't have fruits and vegetables? But she still doesn't get it. But, I can't change that. But I will say last night I was at a friend's visiting. Her husband was a dear friend of mine and died. He was in 9/11 and got a cancer from that. He was a firefighter. And she is actually on hospice. And last night she's like, so what is that stuff that you do? And then she's like, well, I think maybe I should try it, this and that. And now she's on hospice. Okay. And so she's like, well, you can call me. And I said, well, I can do it right now on my phone. And she's like, okay. So
You just muted.
Oh, I think we accidentally muted you, Lisa. No?
no, I'm all set. Thank you.
Well, I think two things you said is they're not ready yet. Keep that in your head, the yet side of things. And then the second thing I really got out of what you just shared is you said, okay, I can help you right now. Don't delay it. If someone's interested, guide them to the order. Help them place the order. Just say, here, let me help you fill this out. Here, I can help you get going. Let me log into my office. Like, lead them to that confidently. Give them the chance to order. If they're not ready, they'll just say, actually, I want to whatever. But a lot of times they are ready and we just keep lingering and, let me send you another video. Let me, like, you're not really ready to order. Like, surely you can't seriously be, you can't get this yet. You haven't watched 12 videos, just say, okay, let's get your order in. And you'll be surprised at how many people are like, okay, and they'll do it. If not, they're not ready, they'll let you know that too. So good job with that reminder, Lisa. Anyone else want to share?
I'll share.
Go ahead, Nancy. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Janie.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. I've got a few things. Just when I started, I had very sick boys and I had such a health transformation the first month, oddly enough, from their asthma. It was the first month they hadn't gotten sick. And meanwhile, I'm learning, I love Dr. Du Bois' Whole Truth in 15 Minutes. So I was just had my eyes opened about the power of whole food. And so I was just crazy on fire, sharing with everybody, trying to educate them. And so that has been my passion. I just love educating people about what they didn't know and how unique and transformational these simple steps can be. And so I love that. And I love that you can pick who you work with and that the sky is the limit. Like, you can pass the person who brought you into the business. It's just unbelievable. So those are some of the few things I love.
Very good. Thank you, Janie. Nancy, go ahead.
The things that kind of stood out to me were the integrity of the company and the research and everything that goes with it. And that the community, the Juice Plus community that I've now come in contact with and that has mentored me and helped me along the way. I still am in that kind of scared. I don't feel like I share as freely as I should. I'm working on it. I'm doing better, but so the business is also helping me to grow. Those are the things that stood out to me.
Thank you for sharing, Nancy.
Stacy,
Yes,
this is
ma'am.
Barbara.
Hi, Barbara.
I underlined something in almost all 30, but this morning, what really stood out to me was I love that I can help others realize their dreams with taking control of both their health and their family's future. It felt amazing to promote a dear friend this morning to fill out that form and send it in. I even called first just to make sure I was calculating right. And they said, yes, ma'am. And just filling out that form was the best feeling. And over the years, getting customers has not been a problem. I love helping people with their health. And it did make a huge difference in my life and my children's lives. But that feeling of helping someone add to their income, wow, I have just been crying off and on ever since that form, since I filled out that form. So I'm just so excited that is what stood out to me today, because I have a lot of customers that have made referrals, and I've offered the business, but I think now I'm going to be better at sharing the vision, because they don't know what they don't know, and before I just thought, you could get this sales profit back, not just me. But now, with this last conference was so amazing. I have such a bigger vision, and I want to share that vision. It's more than just getting their sales profit back.
For sure. That's such a good thing. Like, celebrating somebody else's success is one of, I think, the best motivators. When you really see it working, it's a belief builder too. I see in the chat, somebody asked us about scripts. I would say there's some on boards, speaking people to join the business. We have some recordings from our past DMO Zooms. If you go to the paid subscription side, it's just $9.99 a month. And you can go back, and there's a couple of different Zooms that we have done specific to inviting to the team. But there are scripts in the business section of boards as well. Somebody asked about how to find the whole truth in 15 minutes. That is in boards as well. I'm pretty sure that that's still there, but there's I would say a more updated one that's like 12 minutes. And so that's the one that I use. So check boards for those. All right. Anyone else before we close?
I have one thing. Marcia here. So I had just burgers, hot dogs, and 11 kids here last night. And I was talking to the kids about the Tower Garden, and they were, what is this? What is that? It was phenomenal. I have my 1-year-old granddaughter picking kale off the bottom and eating it. And I said, if they grow it, they'll eat it. And so the adults are just kind of listening, and the kids and I are walking around the house looking at other plants and flowers and things like that. And they said, you're a plant expert. And so I have fun educating anyone who will listen, and especially Tower Gardens. But that was just to see a 1-year-old picking off of that, just like the older kids were doing. And they were eating the lettuces too, but she grabs the kale because it was at her level. She had 2 of those leaves.
Oh, I hope you got a picture of that. That's so cute.
So, yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hey, Stacy, I just want to say quickly that probably the biggest thing for me, and I really was going to try to do this without tears, but I'm not sure I can. But I have been for several years now in a struggle in a close family relationship. And I want to say that this business has been an anchor for me to not focus on that, and to learn and grow, and to share that burden with the people in this community that are closest to me, and pray they prayed with me, and they believe with me that there's, God's going to deliver. And, but it has been something that has been worthwhile to take my attention off of something that I have no control over. Only He does. And I am believing that He's going to do what only He can do. But in the meantime, I am making a difference, and I'm helping people, and I am in so many different ways, as everybody has already shared. So that's probably the most meaningful thing to me.
To have a community that's deeper than family relationships in a lot of ways. You know, having been with Juice Plus for 20 years, it's like a family union at conference of people you actually want to see and that you're excited to spend time with. So thank you for that, Marsha. I love your vulnerability and emotion. Thank you for sharing. All right, guys, I have another Zoom to hop on. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for your input, and take some time, fill out that form, really think deeper. Why am I in this? What's going to motivate me to do the work? Then use your planner, start filling that out. Also, what's your goals for this month? What do you want to accomplish? We're working on 5-1 with our team. I've got a couple of trackers. You can use the sticky note tracker sheet to fill out, give yourself 60 days and fill that out with your new customers, your new partners, new customers. It goes faster than you think. It's going to build your belief you do know how to help somebody to get to QSC because you're doing it yourself again. And then for those of you that are close to qualification, you can add a good 450 points of qualifying points by getting a 5-1, 5 new customers, and at least 1 team member that has 1 trio order underneath them. So I'll send you both of those tracker forms. You may have seen them from your NMDs as well, but you know, knowing why you're doing it is an important aspect. Setting the activity up on your schedule, get those events in there, and that gives you something to talk about to people and invite to. And then tracking those conversations in your DMO planners, and then writing down the results from that on those sticky note sheets. We want to track the results too, because that can be an encouragement. We do the activity without expectation, right? We do the activity knowing that we're going to get results from the activity. It always will give us results, but it is fun to track the progress and be able to write those names down and see that what you're putting into, what you're putting time into is going to come to fruition. Give it time for those conversations to build momentum, but you're going to get there. So, all right. Thank you guys. Everyone have a great week. Write down.
Thanks, Stacy.
Write it down.
Have a
You're
great day.
welcome. You guys have a great day.